We are happy to be here. And you know what? We are running a few minutes late, so we're just going to get into it. We didn't do any pre-work, so say hi, say where you're joining us from in the chat, and we'll include you because we're playing a fun game today called called In or Out, which is not what they were calling it backstage, but we will leave that. We'll leave that alone.
We're not even going to mention what he's talking about.
I bet
Not
they'll
gonna
find
do
a. I bet they'll find a way, Don. But we're going to try not to. All right, are you guys ready to make a show?
Maybe.
All right, here we go. All right, Steve's going to have the sound of the mail being delivered. Hey guys, mail's here, and there's some for us.
Oh man, I love mail. Who's it from? Wait. It's not from my probation officer again, is it?
Let's see. It's from Stacker Kelsey.
All right.
Here's what Kelsey says. Hey, Joe and OG and Doug, of course. Your shows truly helped change my financial game, and I wanted to say thank you for investing so much of yourself into helping people like me. Isn't that nice?
Oh,
Well, keep going. She probably mentions me again.
I'm sure. Well, I don't know, but she says the person who introduced me to your show is my dad, and he has a birthday coming up today, August 8th. He's an avid listener, and I'm wondering if there's any way you'd be able to shout him out on your show. My dad's always been there for me. And when I was really underwater with student loans, credit card debt, and all the other bills that come with living, my dad sat down with me and helped me plan my finances so I could pay off debts one by one and not be so paycheck to paycheck. He would also send me episodes of your show that he knew would help or would be inspiring, like how to structure an emergency fund. Again, I appreciate all that you do to help people like me. And if there's any chance of a small shout out for my dad, I know he'd be over the moon. Thank you again for all your help. Doug, I think we can do maybe slightly better than that. What do you think?
Oh, I think I see where you're headed with this, Joe. Let's do it.
All right, round table. You guys ready? Let's do this. Doug?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. We're going live?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Wait, whose birthday is it? It was Jeff Lund. Jeff Lund, really? You mean that guy's still alive? I'm pretty sure I saw him shopping for caskets at Costco the other day. Oh, he's only 54, huh? Wow, he doesn't look a day over 90. All right, then, let's celebrate. Live from the basement of the YouTube headquarters, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and on this special Jeff Lund's birthday episode of Stacking Benjamins, it's time to ask our panel, are you in or are you out on some of personal finance's most controversial topics? We'll cover insurance to investing and estate planning to home purchases on today's show. I think I'm out on this idea of Jeff having yet another birthday. Seriously, haven't you had enough already, man? But hey, I guess everyone deserves to burn a house down with a bajillion candles. Just call the fire department before the cake arrives, Jeff. But that's not all. You know how we truly celebrate Jeff's birthday? We dive into our year-long trivia challenge. I know, Jeff, we do that every Friday. Just sit over there in the corner with your funny little hat and pipe down, would you? And now, a guy who remembers 54 like it was 3 decades ago, here comes Joe Saul. Say hi.
I've got an echo, by the way. Do you guys have an echo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don,
Probably
I think
done.
it's you.
Really? What
Yep.
did I do wrong?
I don't know. I've got a little bit of an echo.
I got my headphoney thingy on.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
I can
hello.
hear an echo when everyone speaks except for, I think, Don. Like
Really?
Doug, definitely you. Joe, you. Paula, can you talk? Paula?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Let me go to my settings and see.
You might be good, Paula. I mean, do you guys hear an echo when I talk?
Nope.
No.
Say hello, Don.
Testing.
I'm wearing my headphones. Testing.
Check.
Hearing an echo. Make sure anyone
Check,
who
check.
isn't wearing headphones has echo
It's gone now.
cancellation on.
It is
Well,
gone
that
now.
was just weird.
Well, is
Yeah.
it me?
I don't know.
Test.
That you just may have.
You're
a natural
better. You're
echo
better
to your
now,
voice.
Doug.
Yeah.
You're
Probably
better,
just
Doug.
have a natural reverb. Because you're the announcer.
What? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Is
All
it a
right.
problem that I record from the shower?
Paul, how you doing, man? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Doug, this is supposed to be Jeff's episode, not make fun of Joe episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Jeff's special birthday episode of the Stacky Benjamin Show. I am Joe Saul-Sehy, and man, do we have a great show for you today. I loved it. We did this earlier this spring, and it was so much fun. We brought this concept back for another episode, and we have 3 of the perfect people to enjoy the special episode we call In or Out. What's going to happen is I'm going to say a financial phrase that might be a little controversial, and all our roundtable has to do is debate whether they're in or out when it comes to that particular concept. The first half, we'll do some basic ones. Then we'll, for all you really nerdy money people, we'll dive into those in the second half of today's show. But let's welcome our contestants here first. Let's go to the woman who is high above Manhattan. She can do traffic and weather in Manhattan on the 8th. How is the traffic look in Manhattan today, Paula Pant?
The bus was crowded. The subway was less crowded.
That's Don with the sound effects.
And I don't know about the actual highway traffic because I don't experience that. But the bus was crowded today.
And that's traffic and weather from the Paula Pant. And in Rochester, New York, we go to the man on the scene there from Personal Finance for Long-Term Investors. Jesse Kramer's here. What's going on in Rochester, my friend?
You know, things are good up here. It's very hot. We've had a very warm stretch of weather. Question: is this are we working with Jeff with a J today or Jeff with a GE?
What do you remember Nate Bargatze on playing George Washington when he's like, there's 2 ways to spell Jeff, the regular way and the stupid way?
Yeah. We're playing with the regular Jeff today.
The regular Jeff
Kramer.
Yes. But I don't know, Jesse. I heard Jeff is so foo-foo though that he could be the special, the G.
It makes a big difference. I think, I was talking to Don and Paula offline, and we were kind of talking about what we were going to bring to the table today. And that was one of the big kind of differentiators, one of the forks in the road that determined which way we take this episode was which kind of Jeff we were dealing with.
Jesse Kramer, Jeff with a G. Are you in or are you out?
Out.
And there goes all the Jeff with the G's. And let's head down to Celebration, Florida, because the guy that we celebrate every time he comes back on the show, the man with the golden voice, the guy behind Talking Real Money, our great friend Don joins us. What's up, man?
Well, I can't tell you how Jeffed I am to be here. I am Jeffed up. I am just Jeffing, so Jeffing happy to be back. I just want to Jeff up and down. Dang it.
Oh,
now, don't let me get Jeffed up, please, because, I can get a little Jeffy here. Thank you for this opportunity to share my inner Jeffing.
It is a big day, Don. Hey,
Yeah.
Speaking of big days, it's always a big day when a new episode of Talking Real Money comes out. For the people that haven't heard your frequent appearances here, what goes on at Talking Real Money, my friend?
Oh my gosh, today's episode was really unique. I put up an episode on when we did this, really like a week ago, Monday. I don't remember when it was. It was a day or two, where literally I did the whole episode with ChatGPT.
And
we talked about jobs and what in the heck you can do as she's going to take them all away from you.
No, Don. What we described on Stacky Benjamins is she's not going to take them. The people that understand her are going to take them.
Right. And that's kind of what we talked about, how you can be one of the people who understands her before you're one of the people who is unemployed because of her or is maybe Jeffed.
Yeah, it's coming. Well, we got a great topic coming today. A big show. We're going to cross all the different areas of financial planning on today's show. So sit back and relax and ask yourself if you're in or out on these. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, we have a couple sponsors that help us keep on keeping on. And you're not going to pay a dime for any of this goodness. So we're going to hear from them. And then Paula, Jesse, Don, Doug, and I celebrating Jeff's birthday, figuring out if you are in or out on some of life's biggest financial conundrums. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, let's start this birthday party. Paula, let's start with you. And let's start with beginning stackers. You know, Kelsey was talking about how her dad helped her so much, but let's say that you get to help the stackers instead. So let's say you're helping a brand new stacker. Mm-hmm. Are you in or out, Paula Pant, on this statement? When you begin life on your own, you should live a cash-only lifestyle and stay away from credit cards. Paula, are you in or out?
I am out.
Oh, wow. How come?
I am a big believer in credit cards. You get consumer protections. You get rewards. If you use it functionally as a proxy for a debit card, you can. Jesse's losing it right now.
Trying hard.
For people not with us on YouTube, going to say hello to Paul on YouTube. I'm not sure who else is here with us
All his
on
cats in her
YouTube.
lap.
But we do. We have a friend who is playing with us today.
This is Azra.
Yes, Azra is hugging the camera today.
All right, yeah, Azra will stand in for me. But yeah, you know so you get consumer protections, right? If you buy something and you later have a dispute with a merchant, you can use a credit card to file a merchant dispute. You get rewards based on your credit card. You can get airline miles. You can get cash back. And if you use it like a proxy for a debit card and even pay it off every week, couple times a week even, then, you get all of that without any risk of running it over.
Jesse, I remember in Susie Orman's first book, one of my favorite Susie Orman's lines is, you need to learn respect for the dollar. Like, you need to just learn about cash. And when Paula says, if you use it like a debit card, but that's a big if. I mean, we're talking about credit. So Jesse, are you in or out?
I'm going to say out. Now, just what you just pointed out there, Joe, and I think this is in honor of Azra. If you guys remember the movie Anchorman, you remember Sex Panther, like Azra, a big Sex Panther? 60% of the time it works every time. And I think there's some percentage there where it's for credit card users, it's like, I don't know, 80% of credit card users can use a credit card responsibly from day one, and it's perfectly fine for them to be using credit cards as part of their kind of day-to-day finances. But then there's that minority. I think my gut feel is it's a minority of people who, for them, they probably should have never touched a credit card to begin with. And for them, a cash-only system from the start would have been better. But my gut instinct is not to throw the baby out with the bathwater and to say that it's okay to start with credit cards kind of in your day-to-day finances from the very from the start. And if you trip up a couple times, hopefully you learn from your mistakes and improve moving forward.
I don't know. Is that a minority of people? Because Don, it took me
that's
10
the question.
years.
Yeah.
It took me 10 years. So are you in or out on this one, Don?
I'm more of an or. Can I have the third choice?
Oh, no, you got to be in
or out. Then I'm going to cop out. And I'm a cop out. I really, truly believe that it is the majority of young people who have a very difficult time responsibly using a credit card. And by the way, it shouldn't be credit cards plural if you're going to use one. It should just be one. It's complicated enough. And it should be the one that gives you the most bang for no buck. The most points or whatever you're getting for it. But the fact of the matter is, I really, truly believe, and this is from having done a financial show now going on 40 years, that most people are going to run that up because it's just too easy to do it. It feels like play money. So if you can use it responsibly, then I'm in with Paula. But I don't believe that most folks in their 20s at least have in the past been able to effectively use credit as a very powerful and, again, as Paul alluded to, protected tool.
Well, and Robin hanging out with us in the comments says, totally agree with Paula. Credit cards aren't bad if you use them responsibly. But so Jesse, when your young one, I know we're a little ways away from this, right? But how are you going to teach them how to use credit cards responsibly? Because I think that's really what parents, need to do if they're going to use credit cards.
I think in a recent show, we all sat here and talked about that fact that credit cards are real money. There's no sort of magic money. There's no sort of fake money. There's no sort of you're getting access to money that you don't have to pay back. Like, no, it is real money. It is your money. And if your brain can't quite comprehend that fact, you need to somehow train yourself to really internalize the idea that it's real money and you need to pay it off at the end of every month. There's nothing magical going on there. So I think that's probably, when I think of our 1-year-old and I think to myself 5-6 years from now, when we give her a $10,000 credit limit, that's going to be the big lesson that we try to impart on her. Like, hey, you're in 2nd grade. You've got a lot of things going on. Use this responsibly,
You can't have a cell phone yet. You can't have a cell phone yet, but damn it, you can have a credit card.
Absolutely.
Good parenting.
Absolutely.
Just good
Visa,
parenting.
right. We're trying to get on Visa's good side here. I just think to myself, just the last thing I'll say is I was talking to Jeff offline and he was saying that's when he started his kids 7, 8, 9 years old. So I'm following in Jeff's footsteps.
It's all Jeff. I think Jeff is doing it right. I do think teaching your kids about credit, if you're going to give them credit cards, I think it needs to be coupled with some education because, and my parents, I don't want to shame my parents. I go, damn, my parents to give me the education. No parents give that education. I think it's more of systemic than Joe's mom and dad. Let's do another one. Let's stick with you, Jesse. Starting out again. Let's go back to the stacker starting out. Are you in or out on this statement? You should delay buying a personal residence as long as possible when you're just starting out. Are you in or are you out?
I am in on the way that you phrased that, Joe. I am in because one of the fundamental questions that I tell people they need to ask themselves when they're determining whether to buy a primary residence is you have to feel really confident in the duration of time that you plan on living there. And so I think that the trap that some people can fall into is like, oh, I just finished grad school and I just got a job out in Denver and I've been here a couple years and I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to go buy a house now in suburban Denver. And if you ask them like, oh, so are you going to be here like potentially for the rest of your life? Are you going to be here for the next 15, 20 years? They'll be like, I don't know. I just didn't want to rent anymore. And that I think is a problem. I think that, if you look at the rent versus buy calculators, amongst other math, one of the fundamental numbers inputs that goes into that function is how long will you live in the residence. So to that end, for someone to delay as long as possible so that they really feel confident how long they plan on living there, I think is a smart thing to do.
It is hard to know how long you're going to live in a place. And yet, Don, we hear all the time, renting is throwing money away. We hear that. So Don, you should delay buying a primary residence as long as possible when you're first starting out. Are you in or out?
I'm with Jesse. I am way in, because I think the math is misleading. And I also think that there's a giant lobby that is pushing the whole idea of home ownership, the real estate lobby, the National Association of Realtors. The math, Jesse's right. The math does not work out as well as it appears to, and it's an illusion. It's an illusion that you make a lot of money on real estate. The only reason people make a lot of money on real estate is because it's so highly leveraged. But what they forget on the opposite side of that coin is the potential for big losses in a highly leveraged situation. Buying a house has to be a lifestyle decision, not a financial one. And for most people just starting out, committing to that kind of long-term cost is probably a mistake when renting actually in many markets, most markets I would hazard, is a better financial scenario.
Yeah, it's so interesting, just the difference between personal real estate and investment real estate. Just, I chose this house not because it's a great investment, but because it's a place I'm going to be long term, and I enjoy
lifestyle.
It. Yeah, don't even think about it as an investment decision. Paula, you should delay buying a primary residence when you first start out as long as possible. Are you in or out?
I am completely out, but I've got a caveat.
You're out. You think you should buy one right now?
Yes, I say buy one right away.
Buy a primary residence right away.
Buy a primary residence right away.
Ho, ho, ho.
Make it a house hack. Make it a house hack.
Oh, look at you.
House hack a primary residence right away. And so house hacking, for people who are not familiar with that term, means that you rent out a portion of the house, and by virtue of doing so, you offset part or all of your out-of-pocket expenses. And so in an ideal scenario, this means that you're buying a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. You can get a primary residence mortgage for anything that's 4 or fewer units, because anything 4 or fewer units counts as residential. So get a duplex, triplex, fourplex, live in one of the units, rent out the others. If you can't do that, if you're in an area where multi-unit properties are not available, other kind of variations of house hacking include getting a single family home that has an in-law suite, a casita, a guest house, a detached garage that can be used as a separate domicile. And I would actually recommend you live in the smaller, of the two, live in the less nice portion of the two, rent out the nicer portion of the two. That'll probably cover all of your out-of-pocket expenses, at least most of it.
Did you say there are some that come with placentas? What was that?
What?
Casita.
Casita.
Wow.
I totally could not understand that
Holy
one. Like,
cow.
what is that?
Turn the shower off. You'll hear better.
Wow. That went a different direction than I thought it was going to
Pretty
go.
sure that's what she said. Pretty
He's-
sure.
I love all
He's
of your
taken the
answers.
concept of a birthday way too far.
Well done.
This is actually
I'm out.
moving on. Yes, I'm out. Even Jeff's out on that one. I love all your answers. This is what I love about this topic is there are so many different facets to examine and some carefully weeded answers there. Let's do one more, Paula. Let's stick with you. Are you in or out on this one? Don't insure anything you have the money set aside to cover yourself.
I'm in. I'm totally
You're in on that one. How
I'm in
come?
on that one. Insurance, I think, is best for low probability, high magnitude events. If there is something that would be so treacherous that it would really hamper you, then like health, for example, it's unfortunately even minor sicknesses or injuries could end up being hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars. And so your health is something that you want to insure because of the fact that once you go to the hospital, it's pretty much a blank check. By contrast, a piece of jewelry that's, I don't know, $2,000 or $5,000 even. If you have enough money to buy that, you probably have enough twice over that, if you were to lose it, if something were to happen, you could cover it out of pocket.
It's interesting. Don, don't insure anything you have the money set aside to cover yourself. You in or out?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in, and again, I'm in with a qualifier and basically the same kind of qualifier. It's health. You have to insure your health in this country because of the way the system is structured. The system is structured in such a way that if you are uninsured, not only do you pay more, you pay a higher price than the insurance company pays, often by a factor of 10 or 20 or even 100.
Because they're getting a big discount. They're getting a big discount.
So this is the medical insurance system in this country is such a mess, but we can't fix that here. And the other qualifier is unless you must have that insurance. And that applies to a car on which you have a loan, a house on which you have a mortgage. You got to have insurance on those. But in Florida here, we've got a lot of folks who are just going naked on insurance. If their house is paid for, because insurance prices here in some coastal areas run 5 figures and up a year.
I want to live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's on the beach. Beautiful view.
Jesse, you in or out?
I am, if I'm remembering the way you phrase it,
Yeah.
I am in.
Okay.
And the way I think about it is, there are some risks in life that currently I have cash on hand to cover, so I don't need to insure myself against them. but I don't have separate buckets of cash for each risk, if that makes sense. So some of my cash, it's kind of like this general risk bucket that, yeah, it might go to the dog if the dog needs emergency surgery, because that's something I don't have pet insurance. I'm trying to think of something else that I don't have that's insured. Nothing's really coming to mind. But the whole point is, rather than having like dog dollars and dollars for this risk over here and dollars for that risk over there, I have one general emergency fund that I consider a cash coverage for things that I don't have insurance for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And to add, I want to make a point that I think is missed in the insurance business, and I think the insurance industry wants us to miss it. And that is the fact that when you have insurance, what you're in essence doing, except with health insurance, you're just buying a better rate, is you're gambling with the insurance company. You're making a bet with them. They're making a bet with you, and they have more knowledge when it comes to how likely they are to pay on that bet than you do. So they're the house, you're the gambler. Most of the time, you're going to lose that bet.
I agree with everything all of you said, but I'm actually out on this one because during my time in financial planning, what I noticed was, and this has to do with, Nick Bajuli's appearance here a couple weeks ago, when I found people, and this astounded me at first, and it doesn't anymore. When I found people far enough up the wealth ladder that it was, I can cover this and just not mess with it. Really, I can write a check to an insurance company so I don't have to F with it, or I take this risk myself, forget it, write the check. I would much rather write the check than mess with it. So I think that when it comes to like solid dollars and cents, you guys are all right. But when you get to the point that it's a trivial number, where do I really want to spend all this time on this thing versus just hand it over to the insurance company? I saw people do it and I didn't blame them. I was like, oh yeah, looking at your life, just write the check. So really, really interesting.
So
all right.
You're saying insurance is just logistically easier for them. They would rather carry insurance than deal with the costs when an event happens.
100%.
Got it. Okay.
And not have all these little sinking funds sitting around to remember, okay, I got this for this. I got this for this. I get that. Forget it. I'm just going to write a check. But you got to be a ways up the wealth ladder. I think, we went from Jesse, talking about people starting out, right? I think if I'm starting out, the rule to learn is what all you guys said. I think when you get to the far side of it, though, there's a whole different set of rules that we play by. Speaking of that, let me ask you this one, Jesse. How about this? Are you in or out? Hiring a CPA is a waste of money for most people.
Out. I'm out. How do I say this? Well, first off, I know enough to know that CPAs come with different price tags. Here in Rochester, I can tell you that you can get a pretty simple tax return done by a CPA for like $250 or $300, all the way up to like $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. And if you're in a really simple tax situation, I mean, the two CPAs aren't going to do any different work. It's just those are the rates they charge. So first off, if you're someone in a simple tax situation, yeah, try to find a pretty cheap CPA. And at least at first, what I would say is maybe for a couple of years, that CPA might know a few things about your deductions, about what's going on in your life that you aren't aware of, and they might be able to save you some money. Like that's what happened with me. My CPA paid for himself pretty quickly. But then if your simple tax situation carries on into the future and you kind of see how they prepare your tax return, you start to understand the puts and the takes, you can always take it back and say, okay, I think I understand this now. I understand the credits and the deduction of what's going on, and I am going to start doing this myself. But anyway, for me, I don't plan on ever taking it back myself because it saves me time. My CPA is aware of new regulations, OBA, this big, beautiful bill, BBBBB, however many B's there are. Yeah, the triple B. Anyway, I like having a CPA who pays attention to that stuff more than I have the time to.
Don, you in or out? CPAs are a waste of money for most people.
Aha. See, it's the qualifier again. It's always in the qualifier. A waste of time and money for most people. I'm in. Because we're talking about most people. The vast majority of people in the United States of America have no opportunity, and they never will, to take anything more than the standard deduction when they do their taxes. And there are no other accounting services that they need in their life. None whatsoever. And I know I'm going to make accountants mad, but one of the industries that is going to be the most rapidly commoditized in the United States and taken over by AI is accounting.
Man, I don't think so. I think that personal touch matters so much, but I also agree with you, Don. I'm actually also in on this one. However, I think that when you get to the point that you need one, not having one can screw you so quickly.
Again, the qualifier was most people. Somebody in a high bracket, somebody with a very complex portfolio with state issues, all those things. That's when you start needing an accountant who knows all of the intricacies of the tax law.
We got a lot of stackers hanging out with us right now. It's fun. Shane, I love my CPA. Eddie, hiring a CPA is necessary. Paul, I'm a CPA and I have a CPA. Kay Sands, I love my CPA. Jennifer's comments about something else. I was about to talk about Jennifer's stuff, and it's on a totally different topic. Paula, hiring a CPA is a waste of money for most people. In or out?
So given that the statement is most people, I'm in. But I think that the majority of this audience, the majority of people who are listening to Stacking Benjamins, should get a CPA. But that's because the profile of people who listen to Stacking Benjamins is not reflective of the majority of people.
Yeah. I think to your point, Paula, most CPAs would tell you that they don't want to have their time wasted with people, down to your point, taking the standard deduction.
Yeah. Like I think one of my tenants is a single guy who works at he's like a line cook at like a Buffalo Wild Wings. What would he need a CPA for?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Agreed.
Just single dude, renter, works a restaurant job. Like I don't see, unless there's something that I don't know about, I don't see any reason why he would need a CPA.
We've got a healthy discussion going on here on YouTube. If you want to join us on YouTube, we're here now Monday afternoons. We changed the day, so come join us at 3:30 Eastern time ish. Do you? Paul and I were talking this morning how we love the word ish, or the qualifier ish on Mondays. So come join us and say hi. We're going to, in the second half of this discussion, we're going to get really nerdy, money nerds. We're going to talk about target date funds. We're going to talk about tax brackets. We've got some nerdier questions for our crew here, but at the halfway point and to celebrate Jeff's birthday, we are pausing for our trivia competition, which is year long. And well, even before we knew it was Jeff's birthday, we had a score because we're just, we're in the third quarter of the year, and Doug, it's starting to look like it might be a race again. What's our score between our competitors?
Well, for a couple of them, yes, we're getting into a race. Don't worry, Paul is still basically in Brazil. She's so far over the horizon, she can't even see her in the rearview mirror. But
she's a Brazilian points behind.
Yes, she is a Brazilian points behind. But Jesse has started to put his foot down on the accelerator a little bit. He has 8.5 points, which is just 1.5 points behind OG, who has 10.
And Don, you're playing on behalf of OG today, which is good news, bad
news. So
Jesse's
going to totally catch up.
Because you're playing on behalf of our leader, Don, you're going to be guessing first, but you also are the leader. So yeah, no pressure.
Okay.
No pressure.
Other than lots.
All right, Doug, bring it. Everybody needs a trivia question. What are we doing here?
Hey there, stackers. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and today we're featuring the great birthday robbery. Seriously, who said that Jeff could steal an entire episode? Wait, does he have something on Joe's mom? I smell blackmail down here or something. But it turns out Jeff shares his birthday with a ton of other celebs. For one, it's also the birthday of U2 guitarist The Edge, who can jam birthday songs for Jeff all day long, I'm sure. It's let's see here. It's also the actor John Holmes's birthday. That's weird. I wonder why they put actor in quotes. I mean, John Holmes, he's super talented guy, right? So I guess he and Jeff have two things in common.
No,
But-
no.
I mean, that's the word on the street. But here's one. Since Jeff's pretty much hijacked this show, let's focus on another robbery. This one was called the Great Train Robbery and happened on today's date way back in 1963. The thieves were probably thinking ahead, stealing a ton of cash, so they could afford all the candles for Jeff's birthday cake. These armed bandits raided a train in Great Britain and stole a bunch of money. I mean, a bunch of money.
Oh, how much was it?
It was so much that it would nearly fund Jeff's long-term care for a couple of weeks. I mean, it was a ton of money.
How much was it?
Okay, now you're picking up what I'm laying down. It was so much. When Jeff heard the number, his dentures nearly fell out again. We just got him glued back in after last year's inflation report. But more than any of that, it was the most money anyone ever stole during a train robbery. So your mission today, panelists, how much money did they steal in British pounds? I'll be back right after I finish up this birthday card to Jeff. Hey, Paula, asking for a friend. How do you spell reprobate?
All
Careful,
right,
Paula,
stackers. All right, Don, you're going first.
Yeah.
We've got Jeff's, not just Jeff's birthday, but the Great Train Robbery. How much money in 1963 pounds did they steal?
I don't have to do the conversion to dollars.
No conversion today.
When it was 1960s. I mean, I know of
63.
it. It was like a very famous thing. I'm old, so I know about old things, but I was only 9 years old back then. So I think there was a movie or something too, right?
I think there was.
There was a movie. And for some reason, I was going to say like 10 million, but I think since it was 63, it's got to be less than that. So I'm going to go like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. I'm going to go 2 million. I'm going to go 2 million pounds because it's probably more in dollars.
2 million British pounds. Jesse,
I'm
Jesse,
just guessing. OG, I'm sorry.
Jesse, what do you think?
I'm gonna go higher. I'm also gonna ignore what Eddie wrote in the chat because Eddie's got Google out there, but I think Eddie's just throwing a wild guess.
What? Wait a minute. Oh, there's guesses in the chat.
Come on, man.
Don't look.
No,
I know.
not cool.
But
All right. This one's got. I gotta change mine now
No, you're not allowed to, Don. You're out.
because I'm looking at the chat.
Stop.
My thought was, thinking about just the rate of inflation, it was 62 years ago. And that I'm thinking about how often based on a rule of 72, blah, 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 blah. It's probably money was probably worth 10 times less then. And so I was thinking to myself, well, if $200 million would be a lot today. Let me divide that by 10 or $20 million today. So I'm going to say 15 million.
$15 million.
I'll go with pounds. I'll go with
Or
pounds.
50 million pounds. I mean,
Pounds.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Yeah.
to do the conversion. Yeah, hold on.
Yes. 15 million pounds. Paula, you got 2 million and 15 million.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I could take the under, I could split the middle, or I could take the over.
Gambler.
I know, right?
You're good at this.
I love how Paula lays out all the obvious things. I could either go under in the middle or above, Don.
Yeah, but she said it in gambling terms.
She did.
I'm tempted to split the middle, but only because there's been price anchoring. I'm going to just take the over. 15.0001 pounds.
All right. And we are locked and loaded. Don's got 2 million. Jesse with 15. Paula with 15.0001. Who's going to win it? We'll be right back and find out. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Don, you started off with 2 million pounds. Jesse and Paula said, nay. We think it's a lot more than that. It is the greatest train robbery of all time, Don.
Yeah, I know. I think I went low. I know. I'm sorry.
Jesse, you feeling good at 15 million pounds?
Feeling okay. This one, I don't have a real clue. I don't have a clue. So,
Paula, you're blue sky at 15.1.
Yeah. I still kind of feel like I should have just split the middle.
Well, let's see who's right. Doug?
Hey there, stackers. I'm expert Jeff Roaster and guy who loves all Jeff stories about train robberies in the old days, Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Seriously, the amount of the robbers stole, 3, 2, 1. Seriously, the amount the robbers stole during the Great Train Robbery was so much, Jeff nearly spilled his Metamucil again. But the question was, how much was it in British pounds? Well, the number you were all looking for was 12.41 million less than Paula, 12.4 million less than what Jesse guessed, and just 600,000 more than what Don / Prince of Darkness OG guessed. I know it. Don, you screwed this up royally, because the correct answer is the equivalent of about $7 million or 2.6 million pounds, making he who shall not be named our winner.
Oh, man. Don.
Wow. I am so Jeffed right now. I am just Jeffed.
And
you kind of Jeffed us all.
Yeah, I guess I did. Except that guy that you won't, whose initials you won't name.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Ochi. You're
we
welcome.
also forgot to remind the studio audience about fan interference. And
well, that's okay, because I was going to go with 62 when I.
Yeah. Eddie, not cool, man. Eddie pops it right up there. All right. Well, we've got the second half of this discussion, and these are all questions Eddie doesn't know the answer to. So we're gonna be good here. Let's start off with this, Don. I don't think I've gone to you first yet, my friend. Are you in or out on this statement? Target date funds are for people who don't want to take responsibility for their investments. Are you in or are you out?
Oh, gosh. You see, before I say in or out, I need to qualify. My favorite response to every financial question ever given to me has always been, it depends.
I couldn't tell. Could you tell that, Doug?
It depends. It depends. I would say, though, generally speaking, with that statement, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in.
You are in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Because, it's not, you don't want to work hard on it, then do a TDF.
There it is.
Target date fund.
Paula Pant, target date funds for people who don't want to take responsibility for their investments.
Okay. I'm in, but you say that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think not taking responsibility, it could be, I think you're responsibly delegating responsibility. Right? I think
that was a really good answer.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you.
I like that. Responsibly. Yeah. I like that. So I'm going to take that and steal it.
I think target date funds are a responsible way to delegate the responsibility.
Jesse, target date funds are for people who don't want to take responsibility for their investments. Are you in or out?
I listen to the show a lot, Joe, and I'm pretty sure you don't have a sponsor who's like a meal prep sponsor, do you?
I do not. Not at this particular time.
Like whatever they're called. Like I know there's a bunch of them.
I'm not against them.
What's the really popular one called?
I'm not against them. The one
Blue Apron,
Blue Apron, right.
HelloFresh.
Yeah, HelloFresh.
I like Factor. That was good.
HelloFresh, right. That's the way I see this question is like, if you're responsible enough to be like, okay, I don't have time to grocery shop. I eat too much junk food. I'm just going to get HelloFresh or Blue Apron to send me the food that I am then going to eat. Is that you taking responsibility? Or is that you saying, I don't want the responsibility? And just like Paula said, like, it's kind of both. You're responsible enough to say, I'm going to outsource this to someone who knows what they're doing. And that's the exact same way that I see target date funds.
Target date funds.
Whippersnappers give great answers.
Target date funds, the HelloFresh of investing.
That's it. That's it. Exactly right. So, portion out my chicken for me. How much? Send me the cream that I need to add to these mashed potatoes, and then I'll eat the asparagus and send it for 2 because I got to make dinner for Jeff as well, and just that's that.
Do one of the positions in the target date fund always come like ruptured and leaking over all of the rest of the funds inside the target date fund that you're a part of?
That's the cream he was referring to.
Yeah.
Target date funds, I think they're for nobody, but we will move on. Next up, let's start with Paula. How about this one? If you drive an old car, skip comprehensive auto coverage. It's not worth it. In or out?
I'm in. I'm in. I was about to give the caveat of unless you are in such a dire financial position that that a car accident would be like,
interesting. Yeah.
owner,
devastating.
financially devastating.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, use it as your saving, just to get you through. That would probably be my caveat. But otherwise, even if as long as a car accident wouldn't be completely financially devastating, then yeah, I'm in.
Don, I think she's playing your card of it kind of depends.
Kind of depends. Well, yeah, and I'm gonna say I'm in unless you own a rare antique Ferrari, something like that. Maybe
That
you
type
should
of
have
old
comp
car,
on
sure.
that, just
Right.
because you can't. It's going to cost a lot of money to fix it.
Yep.
Otherwise, what a waste of money. Just comprehensive. It's expensive, and your car already looks like crud. Let it look more Jeffy than it was.
Look more Jeffy. Jesse, you in or out?
I think I'm in. Right. My understanding is there's some arrangements where like you have to have comprehensive on it. Like I think if you
Only
still
with
have
a loan.
Yeah,
correct,
only
an
with a
outstanding loan, if you're financing it in any way, right? If you're leasing it, you have to have comprehensive on it. But yeah, once you're past that point, again, I think for most people, for most of our audience, I don't think it's going to be worth having comprehensive after that point.
All right, stick with you, Jesse, for the next one. Are you in or out? You should never contribute to a traditional 401k if your tax bracket's under 22%. There's a nerdy one.
Yeah, that's a really nerdy one. I'm definitely out on that because it's not about, here's the analogy, right? A lot of people are familiar with the 4% rule. They're familiar with retirement planning in some way. And they'll be like, oh, I'm earning $200,000 a year. How much do I need to save for retirement? And well, that's only one part of the fraction. Fractions have a top and a bottom, a numerator and a denominator. It's not just about what you earn. It's also about what you spend. And similarly, when you're making a determination on whether to contribute to traditional or Roth, it's not just about what your tax rate is today. It's also about trying to understand what your tax rate will be in the future. So if your tax rate's 22% today, but in some future state, you're like, yeah, I'm in my highest earning years and I'm going to be a pretty frugal person in retirement and I'm going to be in the 10 or 12% tax rate then. Well, then you want to contribute to a traditional account today. Save the 22 cents on the dollars that you can, because you're only going to pay 10 or 12 in the future. So I am out. Is that what I said?
You are out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You makes it sound like you think it could be a good idea.
Yeah.
You, Paula, you in or out?
I am also out, but my reason is much simpler. If you get a match, put your money into a traditional 401k.
What if you can still get the match and get the Roth though?
Oh,
Instead of the traditional.
I generally bias towards Roths no matter what, regardless of what tax bracket you're in. So yeah, my overall bias is pro Roth unless there is a compelling reason otherwise. But but I have no objection to putting money into a traditional, regardless of your tax bracket.
Don, in or out?
Well, given all the Jeff and qualifiers in there, the never and the 22%, I'm going to have to say I'm in, basically, because I hate trying to predict the future. To Jesse's point, I get it. If I think I'm going to be in a lower bracket in the future, lower than 22 today, which is not a really high bracket, then yeah, it makes sense. But the reality is I don't know what my bracket's going to be in the future. And I'm going to bet, if I was a betting man, that it's not going to be a lot lower in the future, particularly if I'm a good saver. So I'm going to default to Roth. So therefore I'm in.
Last one.
Oh, wait, Jesse wants to add something.
Jesse.
The last qualifier that I'll add there is I will say this question, if someone is like 60 and in the twilight of their career and asking this question versus if they're 30 and they're going to retire in 30 years and asking that question, that does make a pretty big difference, right? Because I don't know about you, Don, but if I have to predict tax rates 2 or 4 or 6 years from now, I'm a lot more comfortable doing that than trying to predict tax rates in 20 or 30 or 40 years. So that's the last thing.
Are you saying that somebody like Jeff in his 50s is more likely to die soon? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what Doug said.
Not having to plan as long?
Dude's already got 1 foot in.
All right, last one. If you don't have a will by age 30, Paula Pant, you're being reckless. Are you in or out?
I am in with that statement, and I will also admit that I don't have a will or an estate plan.
That you're reckless.
I am right. Yeah, exactly. Both statements are accurate.
Paula, you're Jeffing this up.
I know.
Don,
if I pass, all my money goes to Jeff.
That is very nice. He's got the verbal. We're right there. You don't have a will, so this is like a will. Yes, you heard it here first, Jeff. Don, if you don't have a will by age 30, you're being reckless.
I'm going to say out.
Oh.
Out. The reason I'm saying out is because of the year that you threw in there. 30. Not a lot of 30-year-olds have substantive assets, things that complex estates, things that are getting. In fact, a lot of them they have nobody to whom their money is going to be left. So if they have somebody who's a favorite, then do a POD on your bank account, because that's probably all you have.
Well,
or on your IRA or your 401. Do a POD or name a beneficiary.
Yeah, POD.
Yeah. Pay on death.
Do you know me? Jesse,
POD.
We got one each way. Are you reckless or not? You in or out?
I'm out. For similar reasons that Don said, when I think of when someone really needs to sit down and put together a will, it's like, do you have to name guardians for who your kids, who will be the guardians of your kids if you were to die? And then, right, do you want to really spell out very, very clearly where your assets will go, because you either have a lot of them or because you have a unique set of unique set of directions for how you want to give assets upon your death. Short of that, like, right, it would be nice maybe if you had a will to make everything easier for your loved ones after you die, rather than just leaning upon the state's kind of flow that they dictate, like to your kids first, to your spouse first, kids second, parents third, whatever it may be. But dying with a will at like 28 and just being like, oh, my $40,000 in a bank account and 141k, what happens to that? Like, it's kind of easy, quote unquote easy, for that to get figured out. And it's not irresponsible of you to have that happen to you.
Oh, I feel better now.
Paul, you're not reckless.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm not reckless.
Right.
Wow.
And unless that's your MO, you just want to, have this like reckless image, I'm sure people think of Paula Pant, they think reckless all the time. Guys, thanks for playing that game. That is so fun. I love playing in or out, and I'd like to thank everybody who's hanging out with us on YouTube. Tegan is here, Paul with a lot of great stuff, except Eddie.
Yeah, don't thank him.
Kay Sands, Shane, Mike was here, Jennifer, and a few others. Thank you so much for hanging out. Heavy here with us. Let's find out what's going on where all of you live, because when you finish listening to this show, these contributors of ours, we have contribute for a reason, because they have awesome stuff they're working on. We'll have our guest of honor go last. Paula, what's going on at the Afford Anything podcast?
On the Afford Anything podcast, of course, every other episode-ish, Joe, you join me, and you and I talk through a bunch of guest questions, and we have some very good ones. We have an entire Efficient Frontier episode, all about how to invest and how to, properly price that risk in your portfolio. So, and Joe, you're Mr. Efficient Frontier. So you really walk us through that. So that is at the Afford Anything podcast.
Well, back away, Harry Markowitz. You won the Nobel Prize, but Paula calls me Mr. Efficient Frontier. So there you go. He can keep the hardware.
So, I should also mention Nick Majuli. Nick Majuli joins us on the podcast as well, talking about the wealth ladder.
Yes, and even if people new to the show and they're like, wait, didn't you just interview Nick Majuli? Go listen to Paula's interview because everyone tells us it's a good 1-2 punch. We interview people in completely different ways.
Yeah.
So go listen to more Nick Majuli. Let's also listen to more Jesse Kramer. What's happening at the Personal Finance for Long-Term Investors podcast, Jesse?
Well, very humbled and proud to report July was our all-time best month on the podcast. And as for new content, just a couple days ago, we released our 8th AMA episode. So that's a good one. Those are always popular episodes. So that's a good one to start your P-Fly journey, as it were, if you're looking to add that to your repertoire.
What can we mistake AMAs as? Because Jane hanging out with us, I asked about TDFs and Jane says, I'm a TDF fan, but I hate NBC's coverage. She's talking about the Tour de France. I love it, Jane.
I thought maybe they were televising the target date funds again.
I know.
Jeff asked for that.
Don, thanks so much for joining us again. So good to see you, my friend. What's going on at Talking Real Money?
Well, again, it's so good. I love doing stacking with you guys. It's so much fun. Talking Real Money is doing what Talking Real Money has done for like 2,000 episodes now. Literally, I just looked, and I know I don't have a bunch up. We're over 1,600 listenable episodes right now online.
You're about the same place we are then.
That's a slew of episodes.
A lot of stuff that are not listenable, like they're just.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't listen to Fridays because it was me doing Q&A.
1,600 and those other 4, Doug.
And then those other 400. What we do is we talk with our listeners. That's what we do almost every show. We take questions on our Saturday show, which is on the radio in Seattle and then turns into a podcast. We take calls there on Saturdays. We take questions that are sent in at talkingrealmoney.com that are both typed and spoken. And so we have some topics and some interesting stuff, and we hate crypto and all that stuff. And we get in trouble for hating crypto regularly with the crypto crazies.
Right.
But we try to answer those questions that are difficult to get answered without getting misled by somebody. And I think that's what we do best on Talking Real Money, is try and keep investors and savers from being steered into bad stuff.
Well, the thing that I think is disappointing about you and your awesome co-host, Tom, is that you guys don't have opinions. If you had opinions, it would be a phenomenal show. And,
I'm sorry, I'm working on it, but I'm a little old to change.
Getting up there with Jeff, Don.
I'm going to Jeff up my act. I'm going to Jeff it right up.
All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Stackers. Doug always brings us home at the end of our episodes. Doug, what are the 3 things that need to be on our to-do list today?
Well, Joe, first, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, take some advice from Jesse Kramer. It may be okay.
What? Wait, what?
Finally.
It may be okay to start off using credit cards in the early part of your financial journey, but only if you were the type of kid who did their homework and practiced piano without being yelled at by your mom and dad. Second, don't forget the words of Paula Pant. Use target date funds if you're looking for a way to responsibly abdicate your responsibilities to a financial bot. But the big lesson, if you throw a birthday party for that dude, Jeff, make sure there's a defibrillator, a pudding cup, and someone on standby to explain what a podcast is again. Thanks to Don McDonald for joining us today. When Don's not hypnotizing unsuspecting people in the frozen foods aisle with his buttercream voice, you'll find Don prattling on about money over at Talking Real Money. We'll also include links in our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. He just sneaks up on people and then they just fall over.
Prattling might be my favorite word too.
Prattling. Thanks to Paula Pant for hanging out with us today. You'll find her fabulous podcast, Afford Anything, wherever reprobates are listening to finer podcasts. And thanks also to the Jesse Kramer for joining us. You'll find the P-Fly podcast wherever you're listening to us now.
All right. And then the rest he will fill in. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat. We will see you next week, everyone. All right. Contributors, hang in there for just a second.
Hanging.